In July 2022, Eric, the creator of Nomadic Fanatic, arrived at his reserved campsite expecting a peaceful getaway. However, his trip turned out to be anything but relaxing.
And I rolled into my campsite and noticed that several of my things were moved, like my chair and my tripod, and people were setting up camp in my campsite. Bad at confrontation, just so you guys know. But my tripod, that was where they're putting their tent and blocking me in. And then they got a four-wheeler and a cooler. Apparently, they just had to camp right on top of me in my actual campsite here. Then in front of my RV, you got these three boys setting up their tent right in front of my RV also. So when I rolled in, I was a little frustrated at what I saw because they even had a vehicle kind of blocking the entrance into where my RV was at. But I got out of the car, and I think my exact words are, "Wow, you guys just had to just camp right on top of me where I'm camping in my personal site?" And they said, "Oh, it's too full everywhere else." I said, "Well, it got really full here. You moved my camping chair and my tripod, and you just set up camp in my camp." The really messed up part about it is I'm so bad at confrontations that I don't even know how to leave if I wanted to. Like, what would I do? How would I say it? Would I just not talk to him, hook up the car, and just pack up? It's okay, OB. Well, I'm glad that was a fun teaching moment for that family of a-holes. Hey kids, if we get here late and people are already set up, just set up on top of them and make as much noise as possible, be as rude as possible, because that's what camping's all about.
A group of campers nearby was disruptive, and Eric couldn't shake the feeling that they were deliberately trying to aggravate him. As tensions grew, he finally decided to leave before nightfall, uncertain about how they might behave after dark. The next day, shocking news emerged. One of the campers had been found lifeless at the bottom of a cliff. Stunned, Eric realized that despite his frustrations, no one deserved such a fate. More than anything, he was grateful for his decision to leave when he did. Instagram user Hainfishkeeper was out fishing when they encountered a chilling sight and shared a reel on their account. The video quickly ignited debate about the enormous creature lurking beneath the surface. Some believe it's merely a giant crocodile, while others insist it's far too large and exhibits unusual behavior with its prey. Speculation suggests it could be something entirely unknown, possibly a prehistoric beast or an undiscovered sea monster. One thing is undeniable: it's absolutely terrifying. A Twitch streamer was live streaming while walking in Taiwan when viewers noticed something deeply unsettling. A man dressed in black, wearing a hood and face mask, repeatedly appeared in her stream. No matter how far she walked, he stayed in the background, deliberately remaining within her sight. As the stream went on, his presence grew more unsettling, but every time the streamer moved, the man reappeared.
He's all the way there, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna wait. It's more sus and scary because he's we cannot see his face at all. He doesn't even talk to me. He just follows. Look, he's just there. Did he hide in the bush? Did he hide in the bush? I will confront him when I arrive at one of the places where there are more people, if it's still following there. Because right now it's just me and him. I don't want to confront the person when it's just 1 versus 1.
This continued for hours until she spotted a police car and decided to explain the situation to the officers. After confronting the man, the streamer later revealed that he wasn't just a random stranger, but his identity and intentions remained unclear. Grizzly Gaz, a YouTuber known for camping in wild and unusual spots, ventured back into a forest he had previously explored. This time, he brought his dog along. As he wandered through the misty woods, an eerie atmosphere surrounded him. Then, as he settled in for the night, he heard this.
I've just heard gunshots. Fender, shut up, mate. Oh, fucking hell, you farted. Oh, is that your breath? Chill out. I don't feel like stopping here if there's shooting going on.
Gunshots echoing through the forest. Feeling uneasy, he decided to leave. But as he was leaving, he noticed something strange. Moments later, he heard it.
See, I start hearing stuff, but then when I stop and I breathe like that.
A blood-curdling scream, immediately followed by another gunshot. At first, he brushed it off, but later, he updated his viewers, revealing that he had reported the incident to the police. Unfortunately, no further updates on the case have been shared. While hiking at Blackpool Beach in 2016, a woman decided to take a photo of her 2 sons. At first glance, everything seemed normal, but upon closer inspection, an eerie figure can be seen lurking in the background, between the boys' legs. Startled, they immediately looked around, but no one was there. To this day, the strange presence in the photo remains unexplained. While walking home from a camping trip in the Czech countryside, a Reddit user and their friend encountered something unusual. About 500 meters from the village, they spotted 2 or 3 small lights flickering in a nearby field. It wasn't from car headlights. There was no traffic at that hour. The lights appeared almost like signals. Then, they heard a strange noise.
To je do piče. To nějak piče nějaký vysílačky skurvený. Piče nevím, vole. Jsem posraný jak smrt. To jsem ještě neslyšel, ty piče. Taky ty kokos, nebo co jsou skurvený, to mimo vyptají. Nás tady skenujou, piče. Čo nestá? Mám to strhnovat radši. Piče, to jo. Jak jsem to měl rád, no. Kámo, tady taky. A nic se nekoná. Cože? Že se nic nekoná. Počkej, to půjde do tohle. Se na to, pičo, pojď. Počkej. Se na to, pojď. Počkej. Třeba je vyplašený. Se na to, pojď. Pičo, pojď. Změnil se jim signál. Že jo? Ty pičo. Pičo, jako je to? Co ti jebe, kámo? To znělo, jak se přiblížilo. Jo, právě. Ty pičo.
At first, they assumed it might be birds, but at 11 p.m., that seemed unlikely. Even when they tossed a stick toward the source, the sounds didn't stop. Instead, they grew louder and seemed to move closer. Later, their research pointed to a possible explanation: electromagnetic waves caused by solar particles. But that still didn't explain the mysterious lights. A Reddit user shared eerie security camera footage captured at their family home deep in the woods. The video revealed a strange, unidentifiable figure staring directly into the camera, triggered by a motion sensor. The footage later zoomed in, showing only a shadowy corner of a shed. If any additional footage of the figure's movements existed, it wasn't included, but it's likely the user would have shared it if they had it. In their post, they mentioned that 3 people had passed away on the property, one of whom had taken their own life. Now they can't help but wonder if this mysterious figure is somehow connected to those tragedies. Ricardo Dianella, a 52-year-old from Brazil's Timbe municipality, was ready for an exciting hang gliding adventure. Hang gliding is similar to paragliding, but uses a fixed-wing glider for an adrenaline-filled experience. An onlooker filmed his flight, unaware they were about to capture a tragic event.
Meu Deus, minha Nossa Senhora! Ai, alguém segura meu cachorro!
Mid-air, the glider broke and Ricardo tragically fell. The incident raised many questions, but to this day, no clear explanation has been given for the glider's failure. It was a devastating tragedy that should never have happened, leaving onlookers deeply traumatized. A couple visited the Saint, Augustine Lighthouse on a quiet day, with no other tourists around. The husband took a picture, but when they reviewed it later, they noticed something unusual. A woman appeared to be sitting or standing on the tower's edge. However, they were certain no one else had been there. So, who was she, and what was she doing there? According to the legend, a painter once fell from the tower, and his widow, Maria Mestre de los Dolores, is said to return to the lighthouse. As the first Hispanic female lighthouse keeper, many believe she still visits the site where her husband fell. But if both have passed, why would she continue to return to him? Wouldn't they already be together? 75-year-old Peter Paw had gone on a walk with his family in Brancaster, Norfolk, when he suddenly went missing. After 24 hours of searching, there was still no sign of him, and hope for his survival was fading. Then, a police drone spotted him lying alone in the marshes, struggling in the water, and desperately trying to escape. As soon as officers saw him, they launched a rescue mission. Navigating through the difficult terrain, the team finally reached Paw and brought him to safety. Without the drone's aerial search capabilities, the rescue could have taken days, time he likely didn't have. Thankfully, what could have been a tragedy turned into a successful mission. In July 2016, YouTuber LPZ went on a camping trip, just like many times before. But this time, things took a terrifying turn. At 2 a.m., he was abruptly shaken awake by something. His suspicions were confirmed at dawn. A lion was nearby, close to his campsite. The night passed in eerie silence, interrupted only by the occasional roar of the lion. By daylight, the lion was still roaming near his tent. Fortunately, the lion eventually wandered off into the wilderness, allowing LPZ to safely make his way back to his car. An Indonesian dirt biker set off on a forest trail adventure, but as he ventured deeper into the woods, he realized he wasn't alone. Unbeknownst to him, his camera had captured an unknown figure in a tree, silently watching him.
Astagfirullahaladzim. Astagfirullahaladzim. Astagfirullahaladzim.
Oblivious, he rode on and eventually stopped to explore on foot. That's when he saw it.
Stop.
Panic set in, and he quickly sprinted back to his bike. But as he tried to escape, his engine mysteriously stalled. After struggling to restart it, he finally managed to speed off, only to find himself back at the same eerie spot. The figure was still there, unmoving, just staring. For a moment, he stared back, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. Then, the figure moved.
Astagfirullahaladzim. Coy. Tinggi banget. Kampret anjir. Di ranting pohon, cok.
He quickly took off, realizing whatever that thing was, it was something he didn't want to understand. Late one night, 2 explorers in the UK ventured into a graveyard, hoping to capture some eerie photographs. As they wandered through the cemetery, they noticed something unusual near one of the tombs and decided to take a picture. However, When they later reviewed the image, they were startled to see a ghostly figure seemingly touching the tombstone. Initially, they considered it might be smoke, but there was no fire, and neither had been smoking. While some dismissed it as a mysterious mist, others in the paranormal community believe it could be the spirit of the person buried there. A YouTuber known for his solo comedic adventures decided to take a trip with a friend, but this time, it wasn't as peaceful as usual.
This is freaking crazy. So this morning, it was like 5:30 or 6 in the morning. I was sleeping and I felt the camper shake, and we're supposed to have a friend driving by on the highway right out here. And I thought it was my friend messing with me, trying to get in the camper and all that, and I just ignored him. I just didn't want to, I was sleeping. And all of a sudden I heard Max yelling outside, like, "Hey man, what are you doing? Get off there!" Like just screaming at him and like threatening the guy. And the guy was crazy. He had freaking socks on. He had no shoes, looked all messed up. And the dude was trying to break into this camper while I was sleeping in it. And I mean, we're out in the middle of nowhere. Like I have no idea where he walked from, Like, I have no idea at all. And turns out he had broken into Max's truck. He was sitting in the front seat. The front seat's all soaked. There's blood all over the floor. He started opening up Max's chips and stuff and eating his chips. And then he climbed in the porch and was trying to get in here. So anyway, Max and I kicked him out of here, and he walked up to the road and was trying to break into a school bus. There's a school bus going to pick kids up right up there on the highway, and the school bus is chilling right up there, and the dude was trying to break in. So the school bus guy called the cops. Man, so this is crazy. Some guy tried to break into my camper, and the cops are here now, obviously, and the cops just grabbed him.
Despite the unsettling experience, he still enjoyed the trip and carried on with his camping adventures. Only now, he'd make sure to be better prepared next time. A man was walking through a dense forest when he suddenly froze in fear. His heart raced as he spotted something unusual moving between the trees. Panicked, but curious, he quickly pulled out his phone and started recording. Hidden behind a tree, he captured a few seconds of a large, hairy figure slowly walking through the woods. The brief clip quickly spread across social media, with many claiming it as proof of Bigfoot's existence. While the figure resembles the famous cryptid, the poor video quality leaves much to speculation. A British hiker, known as El Guero in Glaze on social media, found himself lost in the Peruvian mountains while trekking the Santa Cruz circuit near Juarez. On the second day of his journey, he got separated from his group and struggled to navigate through thick fog, snow, and ice while attempting to reach the Penta Union Pass at 15,000 feet. Just when he felt alone and uncertain, a stray dog appeared out of the mist.
Hey! What on earth are you doing up here? How'd you get here? How'd you get here? You're at 4,600 meters. Got a new guide. I've lost my guide. This isn't my new guide. We need to go somewhere up there. Okay, you lead the way. Go. Come on. Let's go. If we get lost, I'm blaming you, huh? You're in charge now. There's no one left. Creo que este perro no entiende inglés. Se ha ido. Estoy perdido. ¿Dónde estoy? Perrito, te necesito. Perrito, no me dejes. Es el perrito maldito. Me dejaste. Me dejaste. Pensaba que estábamos en esto juntos. ¿Qué haces aquí? Mira. Punto de unión. Y hay un perro. Bueno, llegamos al pico. No gracias a este, ¿eh? Me dejó. ¿Por qué me dejaste? Ah, no me quiere mirar. Compártate bien. Estamos grabando, güey. Back with the maldito perrito. We made it to camp. It's walked onto the bridge. I've forgiven him for ditching me at the top. And we're both just happy to have made it.
Without hesitation, the dog began to guide him, instinctively leading him along the safest paths. Eventually, the loyal companion led him to a sign pointing towards his destination, Penta Union. The Brit explained that when they reached the top, the two simply waited in silence for the other hikers to arrive. While riding through the forest, a biker noticed a bear and stopped for a closer look, unaware of what was about to unfold.
Okay.
Without warning, the bear charged, sending a wave of panic through him. He quickly restarted his engine and sped away, barely managing to escape. The bear loomed behind him, but he didn't dare glance back. While hiking in Joshua Tree, California, a man came across a small, recently disturbed burial site in the middle of the desert. The loose dirt suggested it had been placed there not long ago, with a partially unearthed jar sticking out. He speculated that it might contain ashes, but the purpose behind its placement and why it was left exposed remained a mystery. Many cautioned him against touching or opening the jar, as no one knew its true purpose. Some even suspected it could be linked to a dark ritual, or possibly something haunted. A family set out to explore a supposedly haunted cemetery. As they approached, they discovered a lifeless animal lying near a tree, adding to the eerie atmosphere of their exploration. They continued forward, recording some tombstones, until one family member noticed something strange.
No, esto de no creer, esto de no creer, vamos. Corran. La verdad que no me lo podía esperar.
Did you see that small, ghostly figure moving slowly? Panic set in, and they quickly distanced themselves from the mysterious figure. But curiosity got the better of them, and they turned back for one last glimpse.
Ahí se ve. La verdad que se mueve, está en movimiento. La verdad que Jesús de Nazaret. No, vamos, corran. Agarrale.
Was it really a ghost? While camping in the forest, a man stumbled upon something unsettling, an eerie mask with a disturbing design lying in the mud. There was no clue as to who it belonged to, but something about it felt off. Was it just a discarded prop, or had it been used for something far more sinister? A man was out for a walk in nature when he unknowingly stumbled into a massive colony of spiders. Surprisingly, he stayed calm, almost as if he had experienced this before. Now, imagine having all those tiny creatures crawling over you. Would you still remain that relaxed? Zach and A, the duo behind the YouTube channel Nomadic Habits, travel full-time in their Sprinter van with their dogs. However, on January 24th, while camping in Texas, they found themselves in a terrifying situation.
I'm freaking out.
The warning will be allowed to expire.
See? Warnings are expiring.
No, it's not. It's still there. It's still on the radar. Up north of us, it's expired. But like on top of us, look at that. It's on top of us. That one has not expired. That warning that's right there has not expired. I'm serious. They're all around us right now. Babe, seriously. Where do we go? What do we do?
It's coming right at us.
Dad, what do we do?
We calm down. That's what we do.
And complete destruction is possible.
That's a tornado.
Stop!
Move!
Stop!
Get in the back!
Stop!
Get in the back!
Stop!
Get in the back!
Stop!
Get down Marlin!
Around 4:50 p.m. Central Standard Time.
With tornado sirens blaring and chaos unfolding, they decided to abandon their van. Fortunately, Zach, A, and their dogs made it through unharmed. This person was enjoying the serene beauty of the forest, unaware that they weren't alone. As they filmed the scenery, something in the distance caught their attention. At first, it seemed like a large bear hiding among the trees, but as the camera zoomed in, it became clear this was no bear. Some speculated it could be an orangutan, but orangutans don't grow that large and certainly don't live in that area. The person filming stood there for a while, observing the creature, which never moved. Eventually, they had to accept that the mystery might never be solved and left, but the question still lingers in their mind. What was it? A TikToker was passing by a park at 3 a.m. when they witnessed something eerie, a figure swinging violently on a swing set, looping over the top with unnatural force. What made it even more unsettling was how the figure barely moved, giving it an almost ghostly, weightless appearance. The timing, 3 a.m., often referred to as the witching hour, only added to the mystery. as many believe paranormal activity is strongest at this time. Filming from a safe distance, the TikToker quickly ran off and later shared the video, hoping someone on TikTok could provide a logical explanation. While exploring an abandoned mineshaft, a man unexpectedly caught movement on camera. A white figure gliding through the narrow space. Some believe it could have been an owl or a bat, as owls often take refuge in dark places during the day, and bats frequently roost in quiet, enclosed areas. While it's likely nothing supernatural, the moment of uncertainty is understandable. This Reddit user was outside late at night when he noticed something strange. A circular disc-like object was hovering silently among the clouds. Was it a UFO or some rare atmospheric phenomenon? The object remained motionless for a while before vanishing into the night, leaving only questions behind. 2 vloggers were walking through a snowy forest at night when their casual stroll suddenly came to a halt after they heard an unusual sound deep in the woods. Curious, they decided to investigate. Turning on their night vision camera, they spotted someone moving among the trees, covered in what appeared to be a large blanket. Suspicious, they followed the figure to a parked car, but by the time they reached the spot, the person had vanished. The vloggers couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Was this person hiding a body in the forest? Then again, the vloggers were also wandering around aimlessly. But what was with that blanket? Deep in the forest, a group of men encountered something terrifying. A towering figure, standing on 2 legs, stared directly at them. Panic set in, and they shouted in fear as they rushed to their vehicle, desperate to escape. But as they sped off, they were met with a chilling sight. The creature was already ahead of them, on the road. Then the footage abruptly cut off. Was this a real encounter with the unknown, or was it all just an elaborate hoax? A mother and her child were playing in a park when she had one of the most terrifying experiences a parent could face.
There ain't nobody else out here at this park but me and my son. Brought him out here to play. I'm over there on the swing, and I look over here. What the fuck? Y'all, I think it's time for Prince. Come on, baby, we're about to go.
A person, dressed entirely in black, was peeking from behind a tree, watching her child. The figure stood motionless, not moving, even as she drove out of the parking lot. It felt as though it was waiting for something. Who was this figure, and what were its intentions? A hiker got lost in the dense fog of Dumpling Mountain in Alaska's Katmai National Park. Fortunately, he stumbled upon a live bear camera feed during Fat Bear Week. Chelsea Puett, a dedicated bear watcher, noticed the hiker mouthing, "Help me," and "lost," and quickly alerted explore.org, which contacted park rangers.
I've been keeping a close eye on that camera that day and saw no bears, but I did see a distressed man.
In the middle of Alaska during a windy rainstorm, a lone hiker seen pleading for help.
Within 2 hours, the ranger located him at the camera site, safe and unharmed. Had he not wandered in that exact direction, things could have ended very differently. A true miracle.